Hujambo na karibu. Karibu tena katika ufalme wa Kiswahili. Kama jamii tunasaidiana kukikuza na kukiimarisha Kiswahili chetu kwa sababu tunaamini experts were once beginners. Na wewe pia uko njiani kuwa mmoja wetu na kuongea Kiswahili kama mwenyeji. Kwa hiyo nakusihi subscribe hapo chini, like, share hii video na uniachie hapo comment ukishamaliza kutazama hii video. Hi everyone, welcome to Swahili Kingdom. And today, since many people have been asking me, Connie, I'm just starting to learn Swahili. Where should I start? And what are the things that I need to focus on? I've been teaching Swahili for the past 4 years now, and I'm still teaching Swahili. I still have students. I've also been learning languages for the past 5 years now. Right now, I'm juggling in between languages. I can speak 7, and I have a little bit of experience in teaching Swahili, and I can tell you the things that you need to focus on in Swahili for you to start speaking fluently. And because of my knowledge in language learning, again, I can tell you the things that you need to focus in Swahili for you to be able to speak, because I know the struggle in speaking a new language, in trying to know the things that you need to learn. With that, I believe I can give you tips, and this video is going to be helpful if you are just beginning to learn in Swahili. Let me say it's going to be helpful for anyone. If you are just beginning to learn Swahili, if you are in the middle, or if you are advanced, you need to know the exact topics that will be beneficial for you. We are going to start with the beginner, someone who just started learning Swahili or who wants to start learning Swahili. After that, you are going to go to someone who is already in the pool, but they don't know where to go. They have a lot of things here, there, and everywhere. And you are going to go to the advanced person who is advanced, yes, because I have had people who are advanced in Swahili, but they don't know the things in the beginner level, or they don't know the things below them. Okay, like they don't know some specific things. So in the advanced level, I'm going to tell you the things that you need to know or to learn to sharpen your Swahili. Shall we start? Let's start with the beginner. Now, you are just a beginner, you have not learned anything in Swahili. First of all, I'm going to tell you having a timetable is something very important for you to know. Am I going to learn this? Am I going to learn this language once in a week, twice in a week, thrice in a week, or 5 times in a week? How many, for how long am I going to learn this language? Like how long each day? Is it 30 minutes, 1 hour? You need to have a plan for you to be focused on it. The importance of having a timetable or a plan is that you are going to be loyal to it. You're going to be focused. And when you are focused, you are going to improve. But if you are learning without any plan, any whatever, you are not going to be focused. You are going to say, today I feel like I'm going to learn. Today there's this new video, let me just watch it, maybe I learn something. Yeah, you're going to learn in that way, but it's going to be a very slow and fulfilling way of learning. If you want a fulfilling way of learning, look for create a schedule or a plan. Okay, now let's start with the most important things that you need to know. You need to know the Swahili pronouns. What are the 6 Swahili pronouns? You need to know the present, past, and future tense in Swahili. I am talking about people who are starting to learn Swahili, A1 to A2. You are not yet, so your goal is to reach B1, the first intermediate level in Swahili. Yeah, so I'm talking to those people. The Swahili pronouns, they know the present, past, and future tense in Swahili. And then, the foundation of Swahili are the noun classes. So, you need to start with the awa noun class, ki, vi noun class, and li, ya noun class. Go with those 3 noun classes and learn them to the latter. Like, know every detail about those noun classes. Okay, and after knowing those noun classes, now you can learn the adjectives, the adverbs, because they go with noun classes. So those are the 5 things that I'm going to leave you with them. Go juggle those 5 things. Like, no, these are the, for example, you can tell myself, these are the 5 focuses that I'm going to put myself on in Swahili for this period. You can say for 1 year. When you do them for 1 year, I'm telling you, after that 1 year, you will be knowing a lot more Swahili. And then aside from doing those things, that is only grammar. Aside from doing those things, I recommend that you learn a language, how is it called? Wholesomely, like holistically, okay? You don't learn just grammar because you're not learning for grammar. You're learning to speak with people. That is, if you're learning to speak to people. With that, you need to put writing, you need to put speaking, you need to put listening, and you need to put speaking. Okay, those 4 things are, I believe, the major things that you need to have in languages. In writing, I advise that you start writing after 6 months or after 1 year, after you have had a lot of input. And then with the input, you need to start listening and reading. With reading, I also advise that you start, with reading, I advise you start after 6 months, you can start reading. That means with writing, you can start after a year. After 6 months, start reading. When you get something difficult there, learn about it, learn the grammar and blah, 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 and that is how you learn about it. And then start listening. With listening, start with songs, simple songs in Swahili. Most of the songs that I recommend in Swahili are from Tanzania, because in Kenya we have a lot of these songs called gengeton that they have Sheng, they have Swahili, they have English. Sheng is a language in Swahili that has a mixture of Swahili, I think English, and mother tongues that are in Kenya. So if you are not interested in Sheng or English and you only want Swahili, I usually recommend Swahili songs from Tanzania. And also gospel songs from Kenya. If you are interested in gospel and you really are interested in Kenya, you can look for gospel songs from Kenya. They are fantastic, amazing. Okay, and now after that, so we have done reading, writing, listening. Now you need to go to speaking. With speaking, it's very difficult to get someone who you can speak to if you have a busy schedule. For me, I don't have someone to speak to with the languages that I am learning because of my busy schedule. And I don't want to take someone, a partner, a language learning partner, and then one time I tell them, no, I won't be able to because I'm having this. So I don't want to get into that hole. With that, I use ChatGPT to speak. Just speak to ChatGPT. Though I found that ChatGPT doesn't have a natural accent in Swahili, but you can start with it, and then later as you get more confident in your speech, you can try and look for someone. Again, with speaking, it's not advisable for you to look for someone to speak to early, because it will be a struggle for you to speak with that person. Like, try to have a bit more of input before you get someone to speak to, so that you don't waste their time. Yeah, that is what I can advise in the beginner. Let's go to the intermediate. Now you have learned a lot of things in Swahili, Ngeli, you have learned the tenses, you even know the advanced tenses, but you can't speak. Okay, now you don't know, like you are all over. What I can tell you is make sure you know the things that I have talked about in the beginner, and then after that, focus your space in noun classes. Now knowing almost all the noun classes in Swahili. So in the beginner we talked about awa, kivi, and lia. Now in this middle stage, make sure you know the easy, uzi, make sure you know all the noun classes in Swahili, pa, kumu, ui. Okay, now you are going to add like 4 noun classes in the noun classes that you had known before. 4 or 5, they are not that many, and they don't have a lot of things like the 3. The 3 that I have said carry a lot of things and they carry a lot of weight in Swahili. That's why they are important to start with. Now in the middle here, do the other noun classes, and then you can do the adjectives, the adverbs, the whatever. Yeah, and now in the tenses, since you now know the present, past, and future tense, now do their continuous tense and do the present perfect tense. Okay, you can start with the present continuous, past continuous, future continuous. Do the present perfect tense. Do the already tense. There is a tense that I call already tense. This is a tense that has sha in Swahili. That means I have already done something. For example, I can say nimesha kula, which means I have eaten already. Okay, that is a tense in Swahili, though it's not in books, but you can find it here at Swahili Kingdom. You need to learn it because it is used every day, almost every time in Swahili by natives. Nimeshakula, nishakula. Okay, and then after those tenses, you're going to learn of the conditional tense later. After those tenses and after the noun classes, the adjectives, the prepositions, advanced prepositions, beginner prepositions. Now do a lot of reading, writing, listening. You can start listening to even interviews, native speakers. You can start reading native books, but I advise you first get your foot down into reading foreign learners or Swahili learners books first before you get into native books, because they are a bit advanced. Okay, then after that, keep on speaking with ChatGPT. If you have gotten a language learning partner, good for you. Speak to them, continue, and don't give up. Don't give up. Continue learning. Swahili is actually one of the easiest languages to learn, especially if your first language is English or Spanish, these love languages, or even Filipino, I believe, because it has a little bit more of, it has a different structure. Yeah, for example, you can see a phrase, you think it's just a phrase, but it is a whole sentence. For example, if I say ninaongea, someone can just think that it's a phrase, but ninaongea actually means I am speaking. In English, it is differentiated. I am speaking. In Swahili, it is put together. Like in German, I saw words are just put together to make a long. Swahili is also somewhat like that. Okay, so now that is the intermediate section. Make sure you know the ins and outs of those things. Now when you go to the advanced, go through the noun classes. Now just running easily and smoothly. You know about them, but now you are just revising. Make sure now you know everything about all the noun classes in Swahili. All the tenses in Swahili, the tenses that we've talked about, and then now add the conditional tenses in Swahili. They are very simple. You have the ngeli, ngali, we have kama, ikiwa, ingawa. Add those conditional tenses, those things, for you to be able to speak in a more advanced way in Swahili. After adding those, you can continue reading, writing, speaking, listening. Those things are very important, more than grammar. But it's also important to learn grammar for you to be able to navigate these things as well. Because people actually say language learning is meant for us to learn like kids, like to learn through listening, speaking, observing. But what if you are not in that country? Who are you going to listen to? Will you be watching YouTube videos all day? Will you be listening to Swahili videos or audios all day? You don't have anything to do. If that's so, yeah, you can do it. You can do it. But I usually say, if you are an adult and you are not in that country, or let me talk about you are not in that country first. If you are not in that country, you are an adult, that means you have other things that you are doing. Language learning is not the only thing that you are doing in your life. you need to do grammar. Why? Because grammar cuts it, like it's like a shortcut. Because you are an adult, you already know how to read. It will be a bit easier for you than a child who doesn't know how to read yet, so they learn through imitation, observation, listening. They learn through their parents. And actually, kids have all the time with their parents, their family. When they say something like chapa, chapa, they can be corrected and be told it is said nitakuchapa, and they will observe. Okay, but an adult, you don't have someone who is dedicated to correct you on such things. So with that, grammar is a very important foundation to add. That's why I tell you to do grammar and do listening, writing, speaking, and reading. Okay, read to get a lot of input. Listen to native videos. You can start even singing if you are able to sing. I'm not saying that you sing professionally, but you sing for you to get an accent. Okay, when you sing, you get an accent because it's like repeating. If you are not able to sing, you can do this thing they called shadowing, where you repeat the things that a native is saying. You just repeat. Okay, you can repeat, you can sing for you to achieve an accent. Because one of the things that I have noticed is that people learn a language, but for example, if it's an English speaking person, they learn Swahili, but when they come to speak, they speak like an English person. Okay, I think it's because they've not gotten the accent through imitation, repetition, observation, and even singing. Or it's because they have not gotten the culture. Maybe they know a little bit of it, but like they don't know it. But when you know it and you know you are able to have the accent is not just about knowing the alphabets. You can know the alphabets, but natives have their accent. For example, let me give you an example of Kenya and Tanzania. In Swahili, we have the same alphabet, but our accents are very different. When you listen to a Tanzanian and when you listen to a Kenyan, you are going to note that they have very different accents. That can be an example. An accent is different from the alphabet. And today, I'm going to answer something that many people say, many people ask, which is on the difference between Kenyan and Tanzanian Swahili. Many people say, oh no, Tanzanian Swahili is the best Swahili, it is the standard Swahili. Kenyan Swahili is combined with Sheng, it's not good Swahili. I understand. Kenyans, we have English and Swahili, and then we also have a language called Sheng, a mixture of Swahili and a mixture in other languages in Kenya that are not English. Okay, and now we came up with the Sheng. Okay, but I can say that in Kenya we also have Swahili that is standard. We have standard Swahili, and standard Swahili is both used in Kenya and in Tanzania. It is standard Swahili. Swahili is Swahili. It doesn't matter from wherever it is. For example, I can give you an example of Spanish. We have standard Spanish, though we have Spanish from Mexico, Spain, Colombia, Argentina, Puerto Rico. Okay, we have all those Spanish accents or Spanish countries, but we have a standard Spanish where you have, like, they have the same grammar. They just have some different things here and there, the same with Swahili. Also in English, we have the American English, the England English, but it is the same English. They can understand each other. So that is what I can give out about Swahili. You can learn whichever Swahili you want, but if you learn Swahili with a Tanzanian, or if you learn Swahili with a Kenyan, it's still going to be Swahili. It doesn't matter. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have gotten something from this video that is going to help you a lot in your journey in learning Swahili. If you are interested in Swahili lessons, you want someone to hold your hand to help you in learning Swahili, you can email me at learnswahiliwithconnie@gmail.com, or you can go to my website swahilikingdom.com. You pick a course and then you can learn on your own or I do offer one-on-one coaching, and I do offer group lessons as well. So if you want a group lesson, you can learn with other people. If you want personal lesson, personalized coaching, I can help you as well. Everything is in there, and I'm going to guide you in all that. You can send me an email, or you can comment down below. I will help you with that. Thank you so much again. Please make sure you comment down below. Like, share this video with someone who is starting to learn Swahili, or they're learning Swahili but they don't know what to do. This video might be of help to someone, okay? The person that you are sharing to. And I'm going to see you in the next video. Kuwa na siku njema, kuwa na wiki njema, endelea kusoma Kiswahili, endelea kujifunza, na usikufe moyo, kwa sababu siku moja utafika kilele. Siku moja utafika kilele cha huo mlima ambao unapanda. Asante sana tena, tuonane tena kwa video ambayo inakuja. Kwaheri.